Hello and welcome back to Berserker, and we're still at war against the Southern Empire. I actually wondered why they're not giving me any kind of peace agreement offer whatsoever. I mean, I know, yes, in the previous episode they did attempt to do that, but I declined it, and I think they've tried once before, or since then, shall we say, and they have not been that successful because I continually just think to myself, why are they not giving me a good deal, you know? They're giving me a very, very bad deal, and I'm thinking to myself, why should I? Why should I accept a peace agreement from these scoundrels for a grand total of 29 war reparations? Yes, reparations. No, reparations is what I mean to say. Anyway, fantastic. Alright, so let's go into Marinia Castle here. Now, obviously, this is going to be one of those times. It's one of those times, it's a relatively easy siege, but we have to still remain vigilant about the massive, massive army that is no doubt coming towards me right now. I am just going over here very quickly just to... you can see I just zoomed over there. And now we're going to do some damage. Now I did steal a couple of units from one of my parties, because that's what I do. And generally, he gave me some really nice units. I didn't take all of his units, do bear that in mind. I actually left him with a couple. What is that? Do you see that? I'm not able to get onto the battlements because they continually just keep me in like a perpetual loop of, well, stuckiness. I don't really know what's going on with that. Seems like I'm gonna die here, actually. Or maybe not. Can I survive? Jump! Okay, get out of here. Get out of here. Run! Run, get up here, kill this guy. There we go. Anyone want a piece of me? Ah, this guy wants a piece. Goodbye. Ow. Get out of here. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone? Anyone else? Yeah, you want a piece, don't you? Goodbye. Can you die? Thank you. Yes, yes, okay. You know, it's surprisingly difficult to kill people with overhead attacks nowadays, because ever since they changed how overheads work, I always have a difficulty with them now. Because back in Warband, it was very, very different how overheads worked. They were, well, shall we say, probably unrealistic. I mean, most of the time they seemed, you know, pretty unrealistic in terms of how they worked in terms of their like trajectory. No, what's going on with my English today? I have no idea. Anyway, with their trajectory, because that swing motion is very much a case of, okay, I'm just going to use my abdominal muscles the most that I possibly can. That's how it was in Warband, where you just go straight down. It's just a straight down motion. And it's very different in this because it's much more, should we say, realistic in the way that it works, because as you can see, there's a follow through. You see that? There's like a follow through, and it can happen from either side as well. So some of the time it follows through on the right, and sometimes it follows through on the other side. And for me, that's quite a bit different than how it used to be. And, yeah, it's always kind of thrown me off a bit. Ooh, and now we're getting a grand total of, well, let's have a look, 30,000. Wow, that's actually insane. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to let 30,000 go. Why not? Let's level up my forces. A great deal right there. Very nice and very, very nice indeed. What is going on with my speaking today? I have no idea. I must be tired or something. I have no clue. Anyway, let's go for 250 troops. And we'll go for standard stuff. Thank you very much. And there we have it. Okay, let's just put 10,000 in there. Get a couple of buildings being built and everything as well. And get some festivals and games running on there as well. And there we go. Alright, so I'm basically just going to leave here now. Can I? Can I actually leave? I really wish the little pop-up tooltip thing would show just that much quicker, because when you mouse over sometimes it doesn't actually appear, and then you think to yourself, okay, why is it not appearing? I'd like to see exactly what's going on here, and it just doesn't for some reason. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but there you go. Alright, so actually, you know what? I'm going to be placing my prisoners in here as well. There we go. because no doubt they're going to be recruited, or hopefully going to be recruited. And Delta Sauce has gained a level. Fantastic. It's nice to see that. And as you can see, Phykeon and Chinopsis are both absolutely fine. I'm going to go down to Vostrum and try to take that. And hopefully there's not going to be a large army nearby, because I did see someone that had a combat strength of over 1,000, so I assume he's part of an army and just hasn't joined up with it yet, because that person's numbers were, well, very, very low in comparison to their combat strength, so that's obviously a big deal. Anyway, I'm hopeful that I'll be able to take Vostrum before any kind of war exhaustion kicks in for us, at least. And let's do this. This is going to be very, very difficult for me, because this is a place where we are outnumbered significantly. And yeah, they are, again, they are trying for a peace proposal. I will not be accepting this right now, but I will accept it after I have taken, oh dear. I will accept it after I have taken Vostrum, if I can do that before the Western Empire completely tears us apart, because they've now declared war against us as well, which is great. Ugh. Why do they do that? Ah, well, we know why, because we are technically encroaching on their territory now as well, and they're not very pleased about that. And I don't blame them, to be honest. Anyway, let's speed, go all the way over there, thank you, and then we'll stop it. There we are. Fantastic. Alright, let's get up the ladder. Get up the ladder, guys. Come on. Okay, yes. Hopefully I'll be able to get up here. Oh yeah, that reminds me, what I need to do is I need to buy some new armor for Bruce. I personally feel like he's wearing armor that is a bit too light at the moment. He only has armor that protects him for like 22 on his body, which I think is a bit too light for him to survive in these sort of longer, more drawn-out situations, especially in a critical situation. You'd much prefer him to survive in that. You know, these kinds of things. Certainly, you can't just have him running around in the lightest armor possible, even though it is a lot of fun to do that, because then it provides him with much more movement speed, and I think movement speed is generally much more fun to play with than higher defenses. But obviously, if you think about, you know, the inevitable damage that you're going to take no matter what, then of course, you know, having higher protection is definitely worth it. Murdered! Oh, double kill right there. Nice. Okay, so far so good. Hello, Mr. Archer. Goodbye. Now that we've cleared out the archer nest, I assume that there will be some people coming towards the siege engine itself. No doubt they are going to want to take over for the forces that have died here, which is exactly what these guys are potentially going to do. These archers with their maces and everything. The maces are very, very difficult to deal with for me, because they are just that much faster than my two-handed, and obviously that's going to make a big difference to whether I'm able to even follow through on a swing. Which is also the main reason why I actually thought that adding a perk in the two-handed tree that is kind of, that is called something like, I don't know, concentration or something, and it gives you a 50% chance to ignore damage that is done to you. Not actual damage, but ignore the interruption effect that happens when you get hit, if you know what I mean. So, for example, if you have like a two-handed and you're being hit by a one-handed weapon, but you've already started the swing, or if you're halfway through the swing, then you don't get interrupted with that swing. And you still take the damage from it, of course, but you're able to continue with the swing because, let's say, it just doesn't do enough damage, you know? So, for example, if the enemy's attack does less than, I don't know, does less than 20 damage or something like that, then you ignore their interruption of your attack. And in my opinion, that's a pretty cool mechanic. Of course, it could be tweaked here and there, and it basically could be changed to make it a bit more balanced, because at the moment I'm just suggesting random stuff that is probably way too powerful, but I'm kind of just trying to convey the mechanic itself so that you understand what I'm talking about instead of me explaining it terribly, as I generally always tend to do. You know me. I generally tend to explain things in a very confusing manner, and then no one has any idea what I'm talking about, and then everyone thinks that I've literally just said the worst thing imaginable known to man. I mean, really, that has happened. That has happened. I don't mean that. I mean it the other way. I mean it in the way that only an eloquent person that actually knows how to explain things means it. Yes, exactly. Okay, I can only hope that there are not too many people that have escaped so far, because these guys do seem to be running away. And can I catch up to them? That's the question. Can I catch up? I've only lost 13 people, which is really good for a town siege. Can I catch up before he... There's actually a lot of them leaving. This is not good. Get him. Get him. Yeah, there we go. Okay, whew, how many more people are actually escaping? Oh, you're dead. He bounced against the wall. That was hilarious. Okay, there we go. Only 9 of them escaped, so that's fantastic. That means that we don't have to go into the castle's keep now, or the town's keep, or whatever. And now we can take all of the prisoners. I will be taking all of the prisoners, because of course we are in a town. And we are going to be able to sell the prisoners almost immediately. Or, in general, if we want to, we can basically just, you know, put them wherever we want. We can sell them, we can put them into the garrison for recruiting, or whatever we want, basically. Anyway, we're just going to take as many pieces of loot that I can get away with before the little donation text turns to white. And is actually going to be useful for us. Wow. Look at how much stuff I can literally take. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Anyway, there we go. Show some mercy, thank you. And then we'll go into improved garrison, do the thing that we normally do. Thank you very much. There's Vostrum. Another town bites the dust, so to speak. And hopefully we are not going to be beset upon by an extremely large army. No doubt that will happen in due time. Okay, so let's just put a bunch of units in here. There we go. And then we'll sell the rest. Okay, sell the rest, because I still do want to level up my roguery skill, of course. I mean, that's, you know, that's a thing that I definitely want to do. It's just a case of actually getting it to happen. And how many things can I actually sell here? I mean, you can see my body armor at the moment. This is my body armor at the moment. It literally gives me 22. It gives me 22 body armor. That's really terrible, isn't it? Okay, yeah, I should probably get an upgrade on that. I think so, at least. I mean, even if it does make me move a little bit slower, I think it's kind of important at this point in the game, at least, because we really don't want to get taken out by some random headshot of a thrown weapon or something. That would be pretty awful. Anyway, let's have a look and see whether I can buy something here. I mean, this is better, but not as good as what I would actually like to see. Maybe something like this? Yeah, this is pretty good because it's still not that weighty, not that heavy at all, but it gives me good protection. So I'm thinking we'll go for that. Oh, it looks awful, doesn't it? I mean, it looks much worse than our previous equipment, to be fair. So yeah, that's a little sad. Let me actually just go and see if there's an axe here that I might be. Oh, there's a one-handed axe. I'm going to take that just in case there is a part that I can potentially get for my inevitable attempt to create additional two-handed axes and things like that. That might be quite fun. So let's go into the smithy now and see whether that is possible. Anything here? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I've basically picked up every single axe in the game right now, with the exception of the ones that you can actually acquire from marketplaces in the further reaches of the world. So I'm talking about Stygian territory, and I'm talking about Azerai territory as well. I never actually checked Azerai territory. And look, there we go. We actually gained 2 new parts. Oh, an Imperial axe head. Fantastic. Look at that. I'm actually not entirely sure if that counts for a two-handed axe. No, it doesn't. As you can see right here, it only counts for the one-handed. That's actually a huge shame. I would love to make a bardiche. I think bardiches are really fun. I remember using a bardiche in Warband and just falling in love with that weapon because it is just so fun and satisfying to use. And it really does a huge amount of damage too, so obviously that's a plus. Anyway, let's wait here for some time, and then we'll see what happens. Ah, Marinia Castle has been under siege, of course. Of course it has. Okay, let's see what happens here then. Alright, I'm going to go over. I don't really want to... You know what? I don't really want to leave... Oh, hello there. Okay, yeah, Sanion, don't besiege it. Okay. Can I win this? I'm gonna say no. I'm, I'm gonna say no. Probably not. I mean, look, he's got a lot of good units. You could see. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's have a look and see whether. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Okay. What is it going to take actually? What is it going to take? 800,000. Okay. No. Okay, he's only got 400 more units. Are we actually even able to do this? We might be able to. Let's try it. Ooh, this is gonna be harsh. This is gonna be really, really harsh. I mean, is it gonna be good? I don't know. I mean, what do I actually have on the battlefield right now? I've got 71 berserkers, 24 noble super bears. Might be okay. If I stay... Okay, you know what? If I stay in a loose formation... Not shield wall, you absolute idiot. Okay, not shield wall, thank you very much. Let's put them into... now I'm flustered, you see. Now I'm flustered, and now I'm making mistakes really, really easily. Okay, let's put them in loose formation, and we'll put these guys, and just put them on auto-delegate or whatever. I don't really care what the cavalry does. There's only 3 of them after all, so it's not like they are going to determine whether we win this or not. It's more a case of making sure that I stay alive, specifically. And hello, you got yourself... Oh, no, never mind. I was actually thinking that I'd be able to catch one of them out, but no such luck. Yeah, my forces are not doing too badly. I'm actually going to tell them to hold fire for the moment. Going to tell the infantry to hold fire at the very least, because I don't really want them to... Oh, did you just throw the axe at me, you absolute... Well, he's dead now, so I guess I don't need to insult him. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so fire at will. Let's try and see if I can murder some of these guys. These guys are obviously going to do so much damage. Hopefully my forces are going to do massive damage with their thrown weapons. Can you please use them perfectly, guys? Can you please use them really, really well? I really need you to. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is bad. Yeah, this is really bad. If I die here, then just mark my words, it's my fault. It is completely my fault for literally running in here. I actually wanted to get into Vostrum, but throwing away my army for that purpose, is that worth it? No, that's really not worth it. That's just a classic. You know, it's one of those classic situations where I always say to myself, hey, don't do that. You know, don't run in and try and protect that fief that you've just taken, because there's basically nothing in there that you care about. You know what I mean? It's that same kind of thing that I always tend to do, and is always something that I always advise everyone against as well. It's one of those, yes. It's one of those situations where I think to myself, why am I doing that? That is such a stupid maneuver. Because now I'm in a situation where I have to literally do so much damage to catch up. Okay, come on, murder them. Murder them. Yes, more murder, please. More murder. And you cannot stop the murder train. That is what is happening here. If we were a wrestler in the 80s, then our name would be Murder Train, or, wait a minute, Clobbering Smash Monster 2000 or something. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, not bad. Not too bad. We're actually living. Can you believe that? I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. Okay, wait a minute. Let's consolidate my forces real quick. I'm gonna just sort of mix things up a little bit and throw the enemy for a loop, because right now they are kind of confused and not really knowing what is going on. They seem to all be all over the place. So that's obviously great for me, because then I'm able to more easily do damage to them, or at least I hope so. Destroy that guy's shield. That's the reason why I really, really enjoy using axes. Let's tell them to charge in once again. As you can see, we are now in a perfect formation of a line. And the enemy is having difficulties because they're charging their archers. Look at this. Oh, that guy's lost his head. I'm not surprised. Okay. Yeah, so far so good though. So far so good. Hello there. Hello, sir. Goodbye. Oh, he bounced. He bounced. He moved on, shall we say. Oh, yes, he did. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where are the enemy's reinforcements right now? Because it seems to me like I'm not seeing any. Ah, it's because they're just running across the field, aren't they? Yeah, they're just running across the field and they have no idea what is going on right now. They literally do not. Ah, there they are. Okay, that's a pretty significant amount of units. Okay, I'm going to tell my forces to hold position once again, but we're going to consolidate ourselves a little bit closer to the enemy than last time, and then we're going to try and go back in, try and charge once more. As you can see, they're getting absolutely murdered by archers, so I should probably just charge them, to be honest, but I really wanted them to get a bit of a... Well, I don't know, just to charge together, really, because that makes it a lot harder for the enemy to eliminate all of us, because if they target multiple units at once, then obviously it's going to be a lot easier for us to survive the charge to their lines, if that makes sense. Oh, dear. This is a lot of units. Okay, they're all trying to murder me. I had no idea how I even... Well, I didn't block anything, actually, but it just by sheer luck I was able to avoid damage. And let's see if I can do some damage here, though. Ah, no, no. Oh, is this a victory? I think it is. Yes, it is. There we go. The enemy is actually fleeing. Oh, wow. I am very surprised. I really thought that that was basically a done deal. That's why I paused so dramatically. Well, maybe not even dramatically, but that's why I paused for such a long period of time before even going in, and why I even attempted to have any kind of persuasion. Justina is also dead, by the way. She actually died in this particular battle, so there's also that to take away from this. I'm kind of hoping that it does not crash as a result of her losing her life here. And look at all the prisoners. Oh, huge amounts. I really like that. Okay, that's really great. I can take all the loot too, because we've leveled up all of our forces really, really quickly. And this is the main area here too. I'm going to sell all the prisoners. 143,000. That's amazing. Let's do it. That's going to give me 5 skill points in roguery. Really cool to get that amount. And we'll just recruit a couple of people while we can here. And then we're just going to add some things to the treasury, and then I really want to get a I really want to get a governor. Can I find an empire governor here? It's highly unlikely, right? Yeah, highly unlikely. Okay, so unfortunately not going to be able to find anything from here. Did we already set this up, by the way? Yeah, we already set this up. Okay, that's fantastic. And I can now pretty much just wait here for some time, and then we'll be pretty good. Marinia Castle, unfortunately, does seem to be, is probably going to be, oh, okay, another Southern Empire vassal wants to say hi. This is probably not the, oh, you know what, this is probably a good idea for them, to be honest. This is probably the best chance that they're ever going to have to be able to take this back from us. Okay, let's have a look. Rams and siege towers have more, ranged troops have 50% more ammunition, 25% increased build speed. Personally, I don't really care. Either way, I don't really care. So I'm just going to take the ranged troops have more ammunition during siege defenses, because that seems to be the most of what we're doing these days. So otherwise, what am I going to do? Am I going to spec more points into engineering? I think engineering could be quite useful, because things like defensive siege engines having 30% more hit points could be very useful. 30% faster build rate for fortification, for example, that's also extremely useful. What else do we have? Yeah, I think we'll probably go for that, and then we'll just level up controls so that my thrown weapons are not completely left out in the dirt, even though they kind of are at the moment. Anyway, let's just see how much I'm able to restore myself before we are completely and utterly devastated by the opponent, because no doubt they're going to head back in here relatively quickly. Ugh, Isilcred, why, sir? Why did you get murdered by the Karakurgit? I have no idea why, but he and many others do seem to like to do that kind of stuff, don't they? They really do like to do that. Okay, and there's Nielsen. As you can see, I actually did find him, and I was able to recruit him once again, and now he's out there with a massive amount of berserkers and everything, and is not actually helping us in the least. So here we go. We have 500 units against our 240. Once again, we are completely and utterly outnumbered. But it's one of these. It's one of these sieges where I'm thinking we might have the advantage. And I'm going to be right back 1 second to get a drink. Yeah, I'm thirsty. Alright, well, it looks as though we have a siege tower and a battering ram coming in. It seems like the AI always likes to do that, where they basically just have one siege tower and one battering ram built, and then they go straight in. They don't seem to really modify that strategy in the least, which is kind of strange to me. I would have expected them to either, you know, be a little bit quicker or do the more thorough thing where they build both siege towers, but maybe they find that that's not so effective. Maybe they like using the siege ladders one time or something like that. That might make more of a difference. I'm not entirely sure, but, well, I guess the best thing that I can do right now is just wait and see where they are going to arrive, because I'm not entirely sure where they arrive with the siege tower itself. I think this is a different layout than the last one. Where? Oh, they're going to arrive here. Oh, hello. Oh, this is a bad idea for them, because this gives me this position right here. So anyone that comes in, I'm just going to murder them straight away. They really are not going to be able to do much. Let me get out my thrown weapon real quick. See if I can maybe do some... Yeah, that's not really going to work, is it? Yeah, that's not really going to work. Okay, let's just leave that. Just ignore it. Just ignore that. Oh dear. Okay, well, there's the gate. I'm not entirely sure where I should defend, because on the one hand, I kind of want to go by the gate, because that is potentially where a lot of the damage would be done. But I also want to stay here because there doesn't seem to be any other defensive measures in place. So obviously I'm going to be pretty much the only person doing anything here, although, hilariously enough, it seems to me like the enemy AI is completely stuck. You see those guys down there? They're not actually making their way up here at all. And as a result, I can pretty much just stand here indefinitely. Yep. Seems like that is indeed the case. So I should probably make my way back to the gate then. Hello, sir. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, guys? Oh my, the AI. Really? The AI sometimes, it just absolutely beggars belief how extremely stupid they are sometimes. And I'm not entirely sure why even, because this is not even a custom castle or anything like that. It's just a regular castle. And now I'm not entirely sure where I should go, because I'm already somewhat low HP, and there's no way for me to get down from here. The siege tower is not even being used. Oh, maybe I can go this way? Oh yes, I can go this way. Okay, phew. That's at least a good thing, giving me a variety of different ways that I can, you know, retreat back into the inner area. Oh, that was a nice hit by that siege engine or whatever it was. That was a crazy hit right there. And the enemy does seem to get in now. So let's do some damage. I'm actually wondering whether I should just charge them in. Charge my guys in right now. Hello. Well, I think I should be alright here. Ah, yes, of course. He's using the siege engine to block my attacks, which I gotta say is infuriating. It is extremely infuriating to have that happen. But we've literally lost no one, basically. Oh, no. Okay, well, I took... Okay, 12. Yeah, 12 damage. It's kind of bad, but, you know, not terribly awful, I guess. So where are the ladders? It seems like the ladders are over here. Yes, the ladders are over here. So they are slowly trickling in through this entry point, but otherwise they're not really doing anything of note. Once again, the offensive AI really proving themselves to be extremely ineffective. And you'd think, you know, hey, you know what? The AI is going to be, you know, going to be pretty good at offensive attacks, especially if they think. What? Did you see that? Did you see that guy? He literally bounced against the siege tower, not siege tower, against the siege ladder, and then flew up into the air like he had some kind of jetpack. Wow, that's crazy. I'd love to see that again. Can you do that again, guys? Can one of you actually do that again? I would very much appreciate it. I think the main reason why that happened, actually, is because the guy was wearing extremely light armor. And it seemed like he just was so light that he was able to catapult all the way up there. That was absolutely wonderful. Okay, well, we've gone over half of the enemy's combat strength. I'm going to tell my forces to charge in now. There's no reason not to be honest. Well, seems like I don't have anything to worry about. I'm going to jump out here. There you go, 18 damage. That's not really that bad. If I'd taken 36 damage, on the other hand, that definitely would have made more of an impact. But yeah, now my forces can literally just run around, do whatever they want to do. And I'm hoping, because they are somewhat ranged units, that maybe because of that new perk I've taken, they will also be granted additional ammunition. And I'm hopeful that that is indeed the case. If it's not, then okay, yeah, that's absolutely fine, and I don't really mind too much, but it would be pretty cool if that was the case. There it is, a victory for us. Wow, I gotta say, I am defying the odds here. I don't think, that's a funny thing. I think in the field battle, I played it very, very nicely. I don't think I could have done much more to reduce the amount of casualties that I had or anything like that. And I think my tactics were pretty decent. But in this siege, I don't think it's me or my units actually taking most of the credit for the victory. I think the main problem that you have to think about here is the enemy AI. They are doing such a poor job of attacking that they're pretty much just standing outside while we pretty much just pick off whoever decides to make it inside and then going on from there. That's pretty much all that is happening right now. So that's the reason why we are able to defend these things against, well, almost certain doom, to be honest. I think that these fellows could easily take this if they just decided to work a little bit more aggressively and a little bit more decisively, because they are being so cautious that most of their units are just hanging back at the back of the battlefield, not even deciding to even go close to the walls. And that is obviously in turn causing most of their units to be left out in the cold, most of the offensive units basically having to go by themselves. And that's the reason why it is taking so long for these guys to basically do anything. So anyway, let's put all these guys in here then, I guess. Put all the lords in here at the very least, and I will sell the rest. Because again, I do want to level up my roguery skill as fast as possible. So there you go, there's another 4 roguery skill. I'm almost at 250, if you can believe it. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, yeah, Marinia Castle obviously got taken. That is to be expected. And when the Southern Empire comes to me and says, hey, is it time for a peace agreement? I'm probably going to say yeah, right? Probably going to say yeah in that case. Because why wouldn't I? And we have a new enemy in the form of the Western Empire, and I'm going to be able to maybe expand our territory out into their direction and maybe take a couple of things over here. I'm going to aim for Rotate and Gersegot's Castle potentially. We'll see what kinds of garrisons they have first. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.